Hey James, good morning. Grant Putnam here. I just want to quickly overview the revised maintenance proposal with you to explain a few things. Okay. So the lawn mowing, the spring cleanup, the fall cleanup, those are considered very basic services. About 95% of landscapers only know how to do the basic services. They're not design build firms. So they don't have the licensing nor the expertise to do the other services properly, but they can do the spring cleanup, fall cleanup, and lawn cutting properly. What's going to separate us on the lawn cutting is we vacuum all of our clippings. It takes us about 20% more time to do that. All right, so and hence the cost is typically a little bit more than another company. Now the other thing is that a lot of these other lawn cutting companies only have a few employees, so they're not paying they're paying their guys in cash. Then they're not avoiding having to pay payroll taxes, avoiding to have to pay workers' compensation. Typically, most of their money they bring in, they write the checks to their personal name, so they're going to your bank and cashing it. They're not paying income tax. So by the time you end up doing all those different items, it's like a 30 to 35% savings compared to a company like ours that has to play by the rules, has to pay all those taxes, plus we have administrative people in the office. So so we can't price compete on those basic services with a very basic lawn cutting company. That being said, my strategy in the past is sometimes what I'll do is I'll refer another company that also takes care of some of our other accounts for the basic services, and by doing that, you as the client can capture that cost savings, and I think it makes sense for doing, again, those basic services. So I'm going to recommend Luis Matute. He does a bunch of other houses for us in regards to these three services, and I know you'll be happy with him. He doesn't collect the clippings, he disperses the clippings, but he kind of falls in that category, like I was saying, that's going to be more of a low-cost provider for those items. So you'll save some money by doing that. Okay, most likely. All right, so he'll come by. I'll have him come by, give you a quote, and then he'll email you a quote and take it from there for that item. Okay. Shrub trimming, weeding. Another way we could reduce cost is we could only do the shrub trimming, and either your kids, or actually your kids might be too little, either yourself or another kid in the neighborhood, which I recommend, or Luis can end up doing your weeding for you. Okay. I recommend to do that every month during the season. We usually have a separate crew that does that, but it's a way to save some money on your end, and the cost for that is reduced by doing it that way. Okay, because usually we have 6 more visits just for weeding, but I made that change for you too to help reduce some cost. Mulch insulation won't be applicable, considering you'll have that done as part of the project this year. Deer rabbit spray, that's important. So we usually do 9 sprays, 7 during the season, 2 during the winter, and you really have to do that if you want to have any flowers and you don't want to damage your plants. Okay. Even those emerald green arborvitae, remember I showed you on the side of the driveway, those were all been eaten. You got to be careful, because those will get eaten even worse, where you're looking at the trunk of the tree and they look like an eyesore. So that's super important to get that gets done. If you wanted to take that on yourself, you could. All right. We offer as a service, but if you want, I could explain on what to do and what to buy for materials and equipment. You can do it yourself if you've got the time. Let's see here as we go down through here. Plant tree health care. The spring systemic, that's real important. That's for your boxwoods. Boxwoods get something called leaf miner, and they get a couple other insects that helps prevent that. Okay. Summer horticulture oil, that's basically the most environmentally friendly way to spray and kill all the little microscopic insects that are going to feed on your plants. So again, that's also important. If we were going to reduce the service here, I took out the fall horticulture oil spray. Next year, if it turns out you've got insect issues, and you have to add that back in, but I think that's the one service that's probably least important out of all of these. And then fall deep root feeding for the trees and shrubs. I think you need that. That's like basically all the food for your plants and your shrubs, and makes them look vibrant and healthy and helps avoid diseases the following season. So we should keep that in there. So I reduced the cost a little bit on that. Got your tick spray, that's self-explanatory. Irrigation service. We adjust the system multiple times throughout the season. Most other irrigation companies are going to charge you like $75 a hit every time they come to do that. But we're offering more of a full service. Okay, so it's something to point out. Then we've got all the lawn fertilizing. Lawn fertilizing, you have to go all in. If you don't go all in and you try to skip all these important services, you won't get the results. So the one thing that's the least important is the last application this season. So if you don't do that, your lawn in the very early spring won't look as good. But like I said, it's the least important, so I took that out to save $100. Okay. One thing I would say, the idea is having all these specialty services under one umbrella is that they all interconnect, meaning how you irrigate the lawn, how you adjust the lawn as far as water requirements for lawn and shrubs obviously plays a big difference in role as far as what they look like in the health. So also the frequency to the property. So if we're here doing multiple services, we have a higher frequency, so then we can try to help prevent any health issues by just being there more frequently. All right. So that's it. I guess one more thing I want to mention is we buy the most expensive lawn fertilizing products. So there's a wide range of products you can buy out there.